guys, today we're going to do a lovely Glenarm ribeye steak here on the bone, and we're going to make up a lovely compound butter for that using some of the garlic, and we're going to smoke some of the garlic on the barbecue, and then we'll make that up with some lovely Dromona butter. Normally we're used to seeing corn on the cob without the husks on, but on the husks is brilliant then for cooking on the barbecue. So all we have to do then is soak them like we have here in this pot. Give it 30-40 minutes in there till the husks all get nice and wet, and then we're going to serve them with these lovely potatoes. We're going to boil these off and just serve them nice and simple with a big dollop of butter on top of that. It's lovely to be able to use local ingredients and likes of Dromona. It's made locally, supporting local farms, and then the dairies are local here as well. So the likes of the butter we're using today come from CHILLI just up the road. So I quite like to be able to use as much local stuff as we can. So we've got our Glenarm short horn beef, and then local CHILLI butter then to just to elevate that to the next level. We're going to need a little bit of parsley. So we only need about a tablespoon. So you can use flat leaf or curly parsley. We have an abundance of curly parsley here today, so we're going to use that. Then what I'm going to use to make up my brush is I'm going to use a couple of good big sprigs of rosemary. A couple of nice big sprigs of rosemary, and then I think we'll go in there with a little bit of thyme as well. And thyme works wonderfully with beef, as does the rosemary. So I think that's us for the moment. Got our twine here, and we've doubled it over, so I'll loop one end, two ends in the other. We've got a wooden spoon, so we've washed these off, and then what I want to do is intersperse some of the thyme and the rosemary all through itself. So that in effect is going to be our brush, and then we lay our wooden spoon on the inside, lay our twine round, and then feed it through our loop, and then pull tight, and then all we do is keep winding that round, and then we just tie it off with a couple of knots. So what this is going to do while we're basting the steak on the barbecue is, in addition to the compound butter that we're making up, there'll be a lovely fragrant aromas. This will just baste the steak as we go and give us an extra layer of flavour, along with that lovely Dromona butter we're using. Top of the garlic, a little bit of oil, and we're using a local oil here. So we just put it on top, let it soak in a little, that's plenty, and then straight over the top then a little bit of salt, just a pinch in each one. And then that's all we have to do to prepare the garlic. Okay, so we're going to make up our chili butter here now for our corn. So what we want to start off with then is we want to get 100 grams of the butter. We've lifted the butter out just to come to room temperature. So these are 500 gram blocks, so it's quite easy just to sort of eyeball it. So roughly there is about 100 grams, roughly. Get out of the bowl. And this is where in Blue Peter they would say, and here's one I prepared earlier. Mash the butter down a little bit. Just going to break the garlic open. We'll take out one clove. We're going to go into the little mincer. Just save a bit of time in the mincer. Mince it out. Straight into your butter. And then we're going to go in with the zest of a lime. We don't want to get too much of the white stuff of the zest in, just as much of the green as we can. 1.5 teaspoons of our chipotle chili flakes, our paprikas. So go in now with just a little pinch of salt, and then using our fork, then we'll just combine the ingredients of this all together, and the flavors coming out of this, the smells coming out of this here are wonderful. That's us. We'll just move this into a smaller bowl now, and then have that ready for when we're going to start brushing that onto our corn. Pop that in the fridge now, and that'll be ready for later. We have our charcoal basket here on the left hand side, and then this is our area where there's no charcoal at all, which is our indirect zone, and we're going to spend most of our time on this area, doing most of our cooking over here. The vent on the charcoal barbecue is important to sit across on the area you're going to do most of your heat. So I have it on the indirect side because that's where the meat's going to be, which forces our heat to come up across the chimney and then out through this gap. What we're going to do now, go over here, I'm just going to grab the garlic, roll that back, and that's going to sit far away from the fire and just sit there and roast for the next sort of 30 We'll probably check it after 20-30 minutes to see what it's like. So you can see the way the garlic just here is just starting to pop up out of it. So that's how we know that the garlic's nearly ready to go. It's nice and squidgy. So what we have to do now is lift this pan off and just give it a good sort of 10 minutes to sort of start to cool down. We will add in the rest of the ingredients we have here for our compound butter. So we've already got our Dijon mustard out here, we've got a little bit of oil, and then we've got our Worcestershire sauce here. So I'm going to put it in a wee blender, and we're adding another 100 grams of butter. So I'm just going to go back to the butter we were using earlier on. So we'll cut another 100 grams off. So it's already marked out, so in 50 gram portions. So it's a quite handy wee way if you want to just sort of get 100 grams or 50 grams, cut down to that. Wee markers are already there. We'll get our 100 grams ready here, right there. And then we'll just drop that in our wee blender. And then we have our parsley. So we'll just give that a quick chop. There's something really about the smell of fresh herbs when you're chopping up. Even parsley is just lovely. We'll add that in. And then we're going to go in with our oil. Just over the top. Our Worcestershire sauce, and then we'll go in with our Dijon mustard. Right, the garlic. So we lift our garlic up, and there's an ingenious way of how to get this garlic out into here. And how we do that is, you come down close, can you see this? We just squeeze the clove. It all comes out, and that smells fantastic already. So there we go. So the warm garlic has sort of melted the butter a little bit, but once that goes back in the fridge, it'll be grand. But we sort of want it like that to go into this pot, because that's what we're going to use to baste over the top of our steak. So we'll put in a nice amount into the pot, and then the rest will go into the bowl. We'll just pop that into the fridge and that onto the barbecue. So that's us set up. We're back over the barbecue again, ready to get the steak on. We've got our little pot of the garlic butter. Just putting that off indirect over to one side. So we're going to put that on here now, and hopefully hear a nice big sizzle. There we go. So that'll sit there. We're going to do maybe 2 minutes each side. Timer's gone there again. So that's 2 minutes for that side done. So we're going to rotate it around again, and you can see those lovely bar marks starting to appear there on top of our steak. Okay, just a quick flip, and at this point then I'm going to go in with the brush, and we'll start putting a little bit of the butter all over the top of that and building up our flavours on the steak. That lovely Dromona butter and the herb, the flavours that we've packed in that is going to bring this steak from a really good steak to a fantastically good steak. See the flavour of those herbs and that butter? Incredible. It's going to be a lovely, sweet, nutty taste on top of that steak. So we've drained off our corn, just set them there directly on top of the fire, and you hear that sizzle. So that sizzle is some of the water that was trapped inside those husks dropping down into the fire, and they're starting to slowly steam off and cook our corn from the inside. So we'll give them maybe 2-3 minutes to come back in again and turn those, and we'll keep doing that every couple of minutes until it's completely blackened the whole way around. We'll just check our steak here now, see it's coming along. So we're at 50 degrees, 59. Just lifting the steak off onto the wire rack. See what those corners are like. Those corners are grand. So why we put the steak onto the wire rack is we've been working hard to build this sort of layer of flavour and crust on the outside of this here. Some of that is going to drip down here into the bottom of the pan, but we want the sort of dryish flavour or dryish crust on the outside of the steak, and this will help us achieve that. So all the flavours that drop into the pan won't be lost. We'll then put them back on over the top of the steak again, but it just helps develop and build on the crust we have on top of that. All the husk is done, all the stuff it's supposed to do, and we can peel all that away, and that's protected the corn inside. So what I'm going to do is I'll lift this up and start to peel back, and you can see the corn on the inside has been protected, but we're starting now to get little black bits, little caramelized bits. All I've done is peel all the husks back off the corn and expose them. And you see the nice caramelized parts we have starting to come through. Oh. So what we're going to do now is just brush on a little bit of the chili butter that we made earlier on, and we're just building up the layers of flavour. So again, we're turning the corn, which was lovely as it was, but we're making it absolutely fantastic now with this lovely chili butter, all with the help of Dromona, all over the top of that corn. We'll bring our steak in. That's our lovely ribeye steak. So we'll put a nice spoonful melting away already. And then our compound butter we made up earlier with the smoked garlic. And now we'll go in with a lovely bit of chili butter. That's us finished our recipes here today for the folks at Dromona. Hope you've enjoyed those recipes and the one you've just watched this evening. I'm going to be online on Instagram Live at 6 PM this evening on the Only Slagging account. So if you come across and you want to have a chat with us, come across there and we'll be happy to answer any of the questions you have. For us, it's really important we're working with the local food industry. Love being able to show how we can integrate some of the local products we have here in Northern Ireland, which is some of the best ingredients we have in the world, and Dromona being one of those, and how we can integrate all that within our barbecue, and how those small wee bits and pieces that we integrate actually elevate our barbecue to the next level, in my opinion. So I want to hear what you guys think about that. I'd love to see some of you make some of the recipes that we've put here together, and you'll find the full recipes and instructions on how to make this on the DromonaMakesIt.com website.